Hi guys, and welcome to episode 23 of Auntie Danny Knits. I'm Danny. How's it going? It's been a little bit over 2 weeks. I feel like I'm doing not too bad at keeping on track again. You're gonna hear a lot of puppy paw clicking around. I'm working on figuring out the best time to record. I had been trying to record on Mondays when Jim had a late class, but class is over, so it's Wednesday, and he is out tonight, so I'm going to take advantage of the quiet, well, I guess it's not quiet, but advantage of not having someone else here. But that means that I'm downstairs and the puppies are free, and they're a little bit needy today. You may also hear the doorbell ringing. Not a doorbell, it's a bell on the door. Our dogs are bell trained, so when they need to go outside, they ring the bell, and then, well, I don't know if they're bell trained or if we're bell trained, but when they need to go out or want to go out, the dogs will go and ring the bell that's hanging from the doorknob in the kitchen, and we will get up and let them go outside. And usually they have some business to attend to, but sometimes that business is just chasing a squirrel. In any case, let's get to some knitting. I finished a couple of things. So I've got 2 finished items. The first one is a pair of socks. They're on my legs because this is what I took pictures of them on, and I haven't taken them off yet. These are my socks from a tube, and it's a pattern that I'm working up for my local yarn shop. We did a class a couple of weeks ago where we knit the tube, and then the first class was separating the tube into 2 socks and knitting the toes. The second class is doing the heels. We haven't done the class on heels yet, but given the things that I learned from the first session, I decided to finish these so that I could have a finished one to show them. And I'm actually going to use some of my worsted weight or maybe even bulky yarn to do up a tube and use that to demonstrate picking up the stitches, because I think it was just a lot of, it was too small to show a group of people how to pick these up. Sorry about the dogs. If they get to be any louder, I'll turn it off. Okay, so the second thing I finished is the shawl that I was designing. I'm super excited about it. So I'm calling it Awaken, and it is a lace weight shawl. I used Cascade alpaca lace in the color Lime Heather, and this is it. It is somewhere between a crescent and a circular shawl. It's got these lovely little vines and some other little leafy bits, and then a braid for the edging. I used US 3 needles for this, and I am super happy with how it turned out. It was inspired by a character from a book. The book is called Awaken by Tanya Schofield. And she's actually a friend of mine. The book came out last month, April, I want to say the 17th, and it's available pretty much any format you want. You can get it paperback, you can get it on any e-reader. I think it's like $2 on Kindle right now. It is a young adult fantasy, and the main character's name is Melody. And yeah, I really just felt inspired and felt the need to make a shawl. So the first version of this shawl is finished. I am working on my notes for the lovely people who have volunteered to test it for me. I've got 3 people so far who are testing it. I'm very excited about that. And I hope have some of the notes out and ready. I'm gonna say probably not this weekend because I've got some stuff going on. But soon guys. And there were a couple of you that said you would take it in pieces, so I will have the first piece to you very, very shortly. So next up is my works in progress. And I worked on some of the things that I've been working on last week, and I ignored some others completely. I did get a little bit more progress on my test knit. You're gonna see it all balled up again. This is a test knit for Tyga Hilliard. Again, I'm using the Baby Bee Sweet Delights prints in the Sprinkles colorway, and I do still love the color. I am just on if you watched Kristen Vollenvine and her Yarngasm podcast, she often talks about being stuck on Sleeve Island. I am stuck on Skirt Island. It's just a little kid skirt, or the skirt part of this outfit, and it's just going around and around and around and around and around and around and around. And it's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. And I love the color changes. It takes a while. 14 inches is 14 inches. But I do have some time coming up this weekend, some volunteer work that I'm doing that will include a lot of sitting still time or sitting there waiting time. So that is going to get worked on. It is living in a bag from Twist Fiber Studio, the lovely Ashley, Carolina spinner. So that is that one. The second thing I've been working on is another one that I pulled out that I haven't worked on for a while. This is my Star Wars Sock Saga with the mustache yarn perfect self-striping in the color Luke. Last time I showed it to you, I had actually just put in that yellow marker, so I have knit quite a bit, about 40 rows or so, which is awesome, because I need to get to 70 before I put in the heel. So these are going to be for my husband Jim, and then once I'm done with his, I'll make myself a smaller pair. And those are still living in the bag that all my Star Wars Sock Saga socks live in, which is my official sock knitter bag that I sewed myself out of yarn from Little Skein and Big Wool. I also worked on the Gemma blanket. That is a pattern by Connie Lee Lynch. I'm using Premier Yarn Sweet Roll in Lavender Swirl. So it is a self-striping yarn with very large swaths of stripes. And I'm also using, the white is I Love This Yarn from Hobby Lobby in the color white. And this is going to be a blanket for my middle niece, for Bug, because she's very much in a purple phase, and I've already done a pink and white blanket for Bear. So this is for Bug, and this is one completed square. This used one full ball of the Sweet Roll, and my plan is I've got 4 of these done. I've got 2 more balls to go, so I'm going to do it 2 squares wide by 3 squares long. I'm going to do a join as you go thing around the edges to join them all, and then I'm going to do several more rows of probably just granny squares and maybe end with a scallopy bit to finish it off, and hopefully I'll have that done. Well, since I didn't finish it in time for the Thank You for Being a Friend knit along for Into the Wool, I'm hoping that I will not get too inspired and I can finish it sometime after May 25th so it can count for Stash Dash. Gotta plan this stuff out, right? So that's what I'm working on, and I'm using an H hook to crochet that. The last thing I'm working on has been languishing for quite a while. I bought this yarn just after the new yarn shop opened around here, and it's a year old. She just celebrated the 1-year anniversary. So I've had this yarn for a while and I cast it on right away, but I just got distracted with other things. But I am knitting the Cladonia shawl by Kristen Kapoor. The yarn is Malabrigo Sock. I'm using 2 colors. The dark one is the Chocolate Amargo and the lighter one is Pearl. And in this configuration, the pearl looks very, very sort of tan, but I've looked at it in other lights and it looks super gray, so I like how it sort of meshes well with whatever you put it with. Let me flip it this way. So when I picked it back up, I was here, and I've knit that much in the last, I want to say 2 weeks, because I took this with me to knit at local yarn shop day. I think that was April 21st. It was about 2 weeks ago. A little bit less than that, and so I've been making some reasonable progress on that. I think I've got like another 10 or 12 rows of this striping before I hit the next section, which is a pretty lacy section. It's going to be in the chocolate brown, and then the lighter pearl will be the very end edging. So I'm looking forward to doing that. It's just really simple to knit. Like it's not quite mindless, but it's almost. It's a 4-row repeat, so it's not hard right now, at least. it's just back and forth and back and forth. So I've been knitting on that while watching TV in the evenings. And it is also living in a Twist Fiber Studio bag, one with a bunch of little owls on it. I feel like that went really fast. I feel like I should have more that I'm working on. I mean, I've got a lot of things sitting, well, within sight. I've got one more pair of socks that is waiting to be cast on. I've got the sweater that I haven't touched since last episode, which I really need to work on as well, because I want to get that done. Well, I guess I have until the end of June to get that done for the second quarter, but I still want to work on it. I want to have it. I like wearing that sweater. And I've got plans. We'll talk about my plans in a little bit. But that is what I've been working on. So I'm being pretty good about not buying yarn. I'm trying to love my stash, trying to use up what I've got because I bought it for a reason. It's lovely. So I didn't actually buy anything since the last episode, but I did acquire some yarn. I got several skeins of Hobby Lobby's I Love This Yarn in red and blue and some fluffy white because I'm going to be making some baby gifts for coworkers, and one of my coworkers really wants these made for them for the other two girls, and so she said, well, you know, can I pay you to do it? And I said, how about you buy the yarn and I make it and it'll be a gift from both of us. She said, yeah, that's fine. So she bought the yarn. The babies aren't due until like September, so we're not going to have a baby shower until probably late August, so I do have plenty of time, but the yarn is all here and ready and waiting. So I just need to pull out, I think I'm actually going to use a version of a pattern that I wrote a couple years ago to make some lovely baby things. So that is all that I have for shopping. Go me. Normally I just talk about what I am doing, not what I'm going to do. But I do want to talk about a couple of things because I have plans, guys. I always have socks that are waiting in the wings, so I'm not going to talk about those too much until I start actually casting them on. But I do have a couple of things, not just the baby stuff that I showed you. I had a coworker come to me today and say, how much do you charge for fingerless gloves? And I said, depends on who's asking. Well, it turns out that she wants a pair for her mom because her mom has some hand troubles and is always cold, and she's seen me wearing them all the time and thinks they'd be a wonderful gift. And I said, well, if you buy me the yarn and just wait until I get around to it, that's all I will charge you, is the cost of yarn. Because honestly, a skein of sock yarn is going to get me a pair of fingerless mitts and probably a pair of socks for me, and another pair of fingerless mitts and a blanket square. You know, a skein of sock yarn, a 400-yard skein, will go quite a ways. Well, it turns out that she would like it for Mother's Day, which is like 11 days away. That's soon. So I said, yes, I can do it. I can bump it up to the top of my list. I can't guarantee it'll get done on time. And you still have to supply the yarn. We had a little bit of a conversation about yarn, and I told her that, you know, really an acrylic is not going to cut it. The acrylics are cheaper and they come in lots of fun colors and you can get them locally, but for something like this, wool is best. And this is from experience. I wear these all the time. These ones are some more mustache yarn, perfect striping in, I want to say it's her Time Lord colorway. I love these. But I've learned that the wool ones will keep your hands warm and comfortable, even if it's kind of warm out. It's not like stifling, whereas the acrylic ones kind of make your hands almost clammy. They don't breathe as well. So that is upcoming. I'm also planning to do another version of the Awaken shawl. And it's not that I don't like this one. It's that I changed my mind about some things as I was going on. Like this little leafy bit here, it does not match these leafy bits here. I was following a different template and I thought I would like it, but it turns out I don't. So I'm going to change it to match these other leaves. I didn't like the way the math worked out for that leafy bit that sort of gets sucked up by the edging. The rate of decreasing changes oddly in here, so I need to work on that. I made it work. I'm really happy with the finished product. It's going to make a lovely gift for my friend Tanya, and she knows she's getting it, so it's not a surprise. But at the same time, it needs more work and not just math on paper. I need to actually go through and make sure that the math really does work. So that is another thing that's coming up. And then I signed up to do another test knit because that's how I roll. Susie of the Prairie Girls podcast made a call last night for test knitters, and I totally answered it in the middle of the night. Well, not in the middle of the night, but later than I normally do. And so I'm super excited. It's a shawl that has 3 colors. So I really wanted to use this, which is from Bead Sisters Blueberry Chick Yarn. My friend Kay, I met her at Into the Wool, and I love this color. It is called Dragon Wing. It's her Kiowa fingering. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon, 463 yards, 100 grams. And I went through my stash to see what would sort of go with it. And I found this from Into the Wool. It is their Pakoku sock. It's a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. It's 460 yards in the Madame Vastra colorway. And I think those 2 colors are very close. These 2 yarns are separated in the design, so I wanted something in this yarn to pick up on this color, and I think that'll work well together. The other yarn needs to separate the 2 of these, and so I'm a little bit torn. I don't know if I want to go with a black, the Cascade Heritage. I don't know. I don't know if I want the black, or if I want to go with white. I'm kind of leaning towards white, just for the amount of contrast it will have. As I drop all the yarn, sorry. This way. I feel like white in between might be what I want, but I'm not sure. So opinions are welcome. I'll probably actually get on Instagram and put up an Instagram story and let people vote and tell me which one they like best. But that is another thing that I have coming up. And I don't know, it's like there's a switch that flipped in my head, and I've got all these designs that I want to get out. And I'm super excited about it, so stay tuned. There will be more designs. I have, officially called for testers for the shawl, but it's not 100% ready to send out. But I do have 3 people so far. If you are interested in testing it, you can send me an email or drop me a line on Ravelry or send me a PM on Instagram. Anything like that, just get in touch and let me know, and I will let you know if I've still got room. Right now, like I said, I've only got 3 people who are willing to test it so far, but I think it's gonna be at least another week or so before I'm ready to actually send it out. I'm so sorry about the whining dog right here. She is being so needy. Hold on just a sec. This is my whiny Hershey. She doesn't like it when I talk to people on the phone or when I FaceTime with anyone, or apparently when I podcast, because she just wants all the lovin'. She's a big fluff ball, and she managed to pick up a couple of burrs outside, so I've got to pick those out later. But that's what happens when you're fuzzy, huh? She is, I think I've introduced you to her before. She's a big baby, but I figured you should see the source of the crying, this little thing. And while she's up here, let's talk about our knit-alongs. Oh, other dogs getting jealous and jumping up at me. So the Sakatumi knit-along is still going on, and there have been some other people joining in, so yay. Please keep those entries coming. Nicole, I have your stuff all packaged up. I just haven't been to the post office yet, but I will get that out to you as soon as I can. And next week or next week, next episode, we will have another drawing. So stay tuned for that. And I think that's all for today. So thank you for tuning in. I know it was a little bit short, but I'm trying to get done before Jim gets home and before these little things drive me nuts. I love that she's ignoring the camera completely now, demanding to be in my lap until, you know, she's there, and now she doesn't want to be here anymore. So until next time, see you later. Had to bring in another cameo. This is my baby Mia. She's my big girl. She's my min pin. She's been with me for almost 11 years. And normally she likes being in my lap a lot more than this.